Those who start in life are many, but those who last are few. Those who start are many, but those who finish are few. The plan of God and the purpose of God for his people is to start strong, continue stronger, and finish strongest. There are many categories of people as far as the journey of impact is concerned. How people start and how they fare. I am going to give 5 categories of people, and number 1 are those who started well but ended sadly. They started well, they ended sadly. A prime example here will be Samson. He started well. In Judges chapter 16 verse 28, Samson died premature. Samson died the death in the camp of his enemy. Samson died in battle. He started strong, but he ended sadly. Second category of people are those who started well but existing with no impact. They started at a time with heavy impact. They shook nations, they shook communities, they shook territories. We heard their name. So many things happened, but unfortunately these people are still alive today and nothing is heard anymore. The big crusades, the big stadiums, the massive impact, the cities that shook, and the things we heard, we are hearing nothing about that anymore. They are alive, started well, but they are existing with no impact, existing with no relevance. That was the case of the old prophet in Bethel. You remember the old prophet in Bethel in 1 Kings chapter 13 verse 11. That old prophet was alive, but God had to send another person to go and do the assignment he was meant to do in the land of Bethel because he expired. He was alive but has expired, like an expired drug that cannot remedy and cannot be remedied. That is the second category of people. The third are those who started well but existing as a distraction. These people started well, but they have become the exact opposite of who they were. I'm talking of people who suddenly begin to unpreach what they once preached. I am talking of people who begin to destroy the foundations they once laid. I'm talking of people who suddenly become nuisances or liabilities to their generation. Saul, the king of Israel, was a sad case in this dimension. Saul chased sorcerers out of the land. He chased witch doctors and native doctors out of the land, only for him to come to the point where he began to look for the services of sorcerers and look for the services of native doctors. When he was in battle, that was his end. He called the woman the witch of Endor. And they say, Saul is looking for you. He needs a prophet, what do you call it, a divination from you. And he said, no, Saul has sacked us out of the land. Why could he look for us again? But he went for her. And long story made short, Saul committed suicide in the war front. He fell on his own sword after consulting that witch of Endor. Am I communicating at all? It is a situation where somebody said, you must live right to make heaven. And suddenly begins to say, oh no, you don't need to live right anymore. Oh, you should do this because the Bible said it, and then suddenly turns around and say, no, that is not what it means anymore. They begin to unsay and unpreach what they once preached, begin to destroy the foundations they once laid, becomes liabilities of existence, nuisances. Saul was like that. Number 4 are those who started well but stepped into error. They diverted into error, went back into their vomit maybe. I read about healing evangelists, the contemporaries of our Roberts, and those kind of people who were in the days of the healing revival. Some of them went back after the healing revival faded, went back. One was a hotel operator. He went back to the hotel operation, stopped preaching, stopped doing everything. Another one was a truck driver. He went back to his truck driving business. He stopped doing everything, and so on and so forth. What a sad way to end. The 5th category is the category that God wants us to be, and that is those who started well and ended strong. Paul the apostle started well. Paul the apostle ended well. Paul the apostle started strong. He ended well. Abraham started and ended well. David ended, even though he had challenges along the line, but he ended well. We read about Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 4, and in verse 6 all the way to verse 8. He finished well, he ended well. And in the name that is above every name, Jesus the resurrected Lord, I speak to somebody by prophecy, you shall end well.